So, what's up, guys? I'm Jake Randolph, PMU marketer. If you don't know who I am, anyways, this is my friend Tony Cruz. I've actually known him for what, 3, 4 years now.
3 years, yeah,
Yeah.
three going
So,
on 4.
the way we met is, well, he's actually a real estate agent, and I'll let him tell you about all that in a second. He does some
Mhm.
really cool stuff, but his wife is a permanent makeup artist. I worked with her, starting out like 3 years ago, and then we kind of became friends because I met up with him, did some in-person coaching, and more of a business discussion when I was visiting Orlando, and then ever since then we've been in contact and became really good friends, and we've got some exciting stuff for you. He's very humble, but let me tell you, he is an awesome sales trainer. He knows his stuff. He knows the business. I watched him grow her business, and he's a genius at business and sales. And so that's why I'm gonna bring him on here, and we're gonna get some good tips for you guys. And we're also gonna talk about Black Friday sales, how to succeed in the holidays, and how to really, you know, conquer Black Friday without destroying your prices. How to craft a good offer essentially. All right. Sorry for that long intro, Tony. Take it away and tell them a little bit about your background.
Yep. So, Jake, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your show. We've actually talked about me coming on for a long time now.
Yeah.
And then we kind of had that final push meeting in person, spending a lot of time together the past 3 weeks. But yes, again, my name is Tony Cruz. I'm a national sales trainer for ERE Grizzard Real Estate, and I do a lot of business coaching as well on the side. I'm 33 years old. I've actually owned and sold multiple six-figure businesses. So with that being said, I like to think I know a little bit about sales. Right now, currently, I run 8 real estate offices, and I coach and train over 160 agents. So with that being said, going kind of into how me and Jake kind of met. Again, I've owned a lot of businesses, and the first thing in starting a business, I always tell people is find the best and hire the best. And my wife came to me probably it was early 2018 with the idea of starting into permanent makeup after she got her esthetician's license. And I said, babe, that's a great idea. Let's put a business plan together and let's see what we can do. And in doing that, she kind of looked at me and said, "Business plan? What do you mean about what do you mean about a business plan?" And I said, "Well, we need to run the numbers. We need to see how many, clients you need to cover your overhead, things like that." And we quickly found that it's a little expensive to start off in the PMU industry. And but I didn't let that discourage me. Having the business background that I have, the number one thing in business is your mindset. You can go into the PMU industry with a scarce mindset of, oh my God, I hope I get business. Or you can go into the PMU industry with a mindset of, I am going to achieve this and I am going to conquer this. So I'm very big on mindset first and foremost. But with my wife, we started out, she had no clients, zero, goose egg, none. She had no photos. She had no storefront, but she wanted to do it. So I said, great. The first things first is what are we going to do with marketing? So being in the real estate industry, I understand the cost of spending on marketing to get leads and referrals coming in. So I use that same knowledge in that industry to help my wife grow and achieve her goal of owning a successful PMU marketing, microblading, and aesthetics business. In doing that, we found that I think it was the 2 nights before we were fixing to open, we still didn't have the plan of how we're going to market. And I was scrolling through YouTube in her spot. She had a solo salon suite, and we had $800 a month in rent in front of us. We had about another $1,400 in other expenses in front of us for that month. And I said, babe, how are we going to make this happen? So I started scrolling through YouTube, looking at PMU marketing and things like that. And I stumbled across a video, and I'll never forget this, Jake. It was a video, 50, I think it was 50 leads or 50 appointments in 30 days.
Yep.
And I watched it and I was like, there's no way. Just me being in the industry I'm from, I get pitched literally daily from companies, marketing companies that even do PMU marketing, that say, hey, I can get you X amount of leads in the real estate industry. And 99.9% of them are crap, in my opinion. So I gave Jake a call, and I kind of had my list of questions that I was going to scale him on. And I don't think you knew that, by the way.
Typical.
Yeah. And he kind of hit everything on the head with my questions. And I said, you know what? Let's give him a call. And one thing that stuck out to me in that call was when I said, so how much are you charging? And you said, I think it was $500. And I said, really? And you're producing that kind of business? I was like, this is kind of one of those things too good to be true. So I hired you, and no lie, I want to thank you, Jake, for getting my wife. I think it was 30 plus leads in the first month. Right out of the gate, we were opening doors, and you got us that many leads, first and foremost. And the way we did, again, she didn't have any photos. So you guided her on how to market herself and ran ads towards that kind of heartache that she had of not having any photos. Now, she did have to go to family and friends and ask them to do PMU and things like that to get 2 or 3 photos. But once she had those, she was golden. So fast forward a little bit, 9 months in, her mother became very sick, and she unfortunately had to step down from microblading and take over her mother's business because it was a very, very large company that she took over. And in doing that, she was trying to manage both at the same time. And Jake was so good, we actually had to kind of cancel the membership and close down the business because she couldn't do both. She simply couldn't do both. I'm a huge family first person. So first and foremost, that's a little bit about our history and how we met. Now, getting into the sales side and what I do is my main passion is building businesses, regardless of the industry. I've built major 6-figure landscaping companies, ice cream shops, multiple real estate brokerages. I do actually have one of my agents that I'm helping to coach her salon business where she owns 2 multiple locations. And I am trying to help her coach that, how to grow that along with her real estate business. So what I've found in talking with Jake over the past 3 weeks is there is so many similarities when it comes to sales, whether it's real estate, whether it's PMU, whether it's regular salon. And that's kind of, in putting our heads together, we kind of figured out, maybe we could help each other and help the masses. So that is a little bit about me and, what I offer and what I provide. Jake, have anything to add to that?
Just to give you guys a frame of reference, I hate phone calls. I don't talk on the phone. Like, I won't even take sales calls anymore, hardly. If you got me on a sales call, then you're lucky. But just to put that in perspective, I talk with Tony on the phone all the time. We talk for hours sometimes and not even realize it. Like, yeah, we laugh because sometimes we talk to each other more than we talk to our wives, and so he's filled with knowledge. Now this podcast is not just to tell you all about Tony; it's about how we can help you. And so let's start talking first. We'll come back to the story with your wife and the business because I think just to put it in frame of reference, you were handling all her leads, you were doing the sales for her, you had your own scripts, and so we're gonna take some knowledge out of that. But first, let's talk about the upcoming thing, which is Black Friday. Black Friday is obviously one of those times where we all know what it is. Like, people do discounts and everybody buys stuff, and people go crazy and stampedes in Walmart and all that. Now it's become a little bit different over the last 5 years with not only the pandemic and then just the digital age. Online sales have been up more and more every year to all-time highs. I don't even know the numbers, but I know it gets better and better every year. And so we want to capitalize on that. We want to make sure that you're present online and that you're getting in front of people because or I guess going to you, Tony, did you guys go through Black Friday? Did you do any kind of promotions or did you see an increase in business?
We did go through Black Friday. And actually on Black Friday, I'll never forget, we ran a discount that actually wasn't really a discount at all. And so with that being said, I think Black Friday we booked, the number was over 20 people. Yeah. On Black Friday. running the special that we're going to be discussing here in a little bit.
Awesome. So I'm just curious, like out of the people watching or listening to this, how many of you are planning on doing something for Black Friday that's, when I say something, like something that's different than what you normally do, every day? And then we'll see how many people. I know there's like a little delay between what I say and when people actually hear it, so we'll watch for the comments on that one. Anyway, so yeah, my view on Black Friday is if you're not promoting slash running ads during this season, then you're just, you're losing a lot of opportunity, to put it nicely. But the biggest question I get is, do you have to do huge discounts? Do you have to slash your prices? And the answer is no. There's going to be we'll talk about some ways on this training on how you can, craft a great offer, how you can, get an enticing offer that people are going to sign up for and not be able to resist without, giving it away for free, basically. So Star says, I might do a Black Friday thing. What's up, Darcy? What's up, Angelica? All right, cool. So to kind of extend this discussion, Marla says, already running. Thank you, Jake. Yep, we got her a good promo going. Now, here's the thing. I always get asked, like, should I do discounts? Or now that we've got a bunch of marketers in the industry, it's always like, do I have to do discounts? Because for some of these guys who are, trying to do the guarantees and, tons of saying that you'll get so many bookings, that's kind of relying on huge, discounts. And so for that kind of stuff to work, I won't even discuss their strategies, but basically you don't have to do a discount to be successful. I know plenty of people who have never discounted the services and they're successful, but what are your thoughts on that, Tony, before I say mine?
So, I don't like doing discounts at all, whether it's PMU, whether it's real estate. I believe that your value, if you have to provide a discount, you're not providing enough value, and you haven't earned that client's trust. So, yep. Going into sales 101 is you don't have to sit here and sell somebody. You just have to gain their trust. So how do you gain their trust? You ask them certain key questions, and they will tell you how to close themselves. But to answer your question directly, no, I do not believe in discounts.
Okay.
I believe that I'm a licensed professional, and my services are valuable.
Yep. And yep, I totally respect that. Now, I do think there are different situations and stages in business from what I've seen where, for example, I've got people in California, or I've seen people in California who literally have, 30 other microbladers in the same building, and they're starting out, they have zero portfolio. That would be a situation where you need to get some models in, you need to do something to build your portfolio. And because it's like you said, it all goes back to trust. And there's two ways you can build trust, either through marketing or through sales. And you could argue that marketing is just a digital form of sales, or a mass form of sales. But I like to focus on the marketing side. Like I said, I'm not a huge salesman. I don't get on the phone with people, but I will, post a video to build trust, or I'll, do some branding to build trust. I'll have, all these things that go into the category of marketing. That's the way I sell. But that's why I brought Tony on, because he's an expert at one-on-one phone sales, messenger sales, all that.
Yeah, and to your point earlier about starting out and having to do a discount, when my wife started out, when we started running ads with you, we did do a discount, but I think it was only 10 or 15%, and we only ran that discount for the first month. After that, the value that we brought and the influx of people that we had and the portfolio that we were able to build in 1 month was all the value I needed to further book more sales. So I definitely agree with a slight discount in the beginning, but when you're in this industry for 6-7 months and you're still giving a discount, there's an obvious disconnect of not enough value. And whether that's, go on.
And that's kind of where potatoes, because a discount could I guess let's get into crafting an offer, because that's kind of where the conversation led. So, and this is a good open discussion. Like, me and him have never discussed this. And so I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think it's just going to be two different perspectives, or it could be the same on a lot. So I think that, let's say that whatever realistic price you think you like. Let's say you think your brows are worth $400. Well, you could either say like, hey, my this is $400, or you could say, hey, this is normally, and this is what my contractor did in Orlando, the guy that I was paying to build all this stuff in my house. He was like, oh yeah, I normally do. I hope he's not watching this, but he's like, oh, I normally do this for $7,000, but I'll give you a good deal and do 6,000. You know, that's price anchoring. That's what we call price anchoring. It's where you anchor the price at a certain number to give somebody a frame of reference, or because that's all value is perception. You know, if you have the
you hit that. I'm sorry, you hit that right on the head. Value is perception.
Yep.
So there are ways, and I hate using the word discount.
Yeah.
Or because it's such, to me, it's so misleading.
Yeah.
Bringing value is, to your point, multiple ways. You know, in crafting an offer, how your contractor did that to you. You don't know what his bottom line was. Yeah. You don't know what he actually would have really charged you. I think starting out in our industry in PMU, one big thing that I did and I was very steadfast on was I didn't want to advertise my touch-up prices, because that's where I can manipulate and bring the value. So, for example, if a microblader down the street was doing $500 for brows and then $299 for touch-up, I was charging $400 because that was my price, and we were only doing $125 for touch-up. So me advertising $525, I was already far beyond beating my competitor without discounting myself. So
I guess just so I understand you, are you saying you advertised as $525, but then you said you can get it for $400?
You can get the first session for $400 or both for $525.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, that's just kind of word. That's just like the way you're wording
it. It's wordplay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's bringing value, because when people, especially in the Central Florida market, you have brows going from $150 to the top people charging $600, $700, $800. Okay, and that's not even including a touch-up. I was including a touch-up for $525, and that was a massive value. I think that being in the middle of the road and providing that value is what was a huge success for us.
Yeah, so I already touched on price anchoring, which is like, like we said, normally I do $550, this is $400. This is kind of a term that I came up with today. It's called competitive price anchoring. And what that means is essentially kind of what he just said, like my competitors charge up to $750 for these brows, but I'm only doing it for, $400. And so that makes people think like, oh, normally it's $750 in a normal market. And it's all about, relative comparison.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, and I agree with that. It's, you have to be competitive as far as price, but if you're being competitive in price and bringing a lot of value, that's when you win. Jake, a great example is you. I know that you have some competitors out there charging way more. Okay, and in my opinion, from what I've seen, and we did interview other people before talking with you and hiring you, you brought the most value to me. Mm-hmm. You were real, you were honest, you were upfront, and you had the stats behind you. Now, fast forward to today, you're 1,500 plus 5-star reviews. How can someone negate that? How could somebody not trust in that? You have you're almost bringing, it's like I told you yesterday, you're almost bringing so much value. Why aren't you charging more?
Yeah, I mean, I should be.
Like that's, and we had a lot of kind of coaching business sessions earlier, and I'm like, dude, what's going on? But at the end of the day, I know in our conversations, you love your clients, you love the people you work with, and you want to provide value so that way anybody can really hire you and utilize your services.
Yep. And sometimes that bites me in the butt because I get people who I probably shouldn't work with and because they just have no business experience, and then they go crazy on me. But overall, 99% of my clients are great. So it pays off.
Yeah. So, Jake, let's get into constructing an offer.
All right. So we've already talked about a couple things. Where do you want to start on that discussion? What do you have in mind?
So, I'd like to bring up the offer that I started out with on my Black Friday. And it's something similar along the lines of what we've already talked about. But I know many PMU artists, it's kind of 50-50 I see in the PMU world. Some people talk about the touch up at the appointment. Some people say, okay, well, just give me a call. Let me know when you want your touch up. For me on Black Friday, what we did was we didn't advertise the touch up pricing. So the way we did it was we actually hired your services for ManyChat back in the day. And when we blasted out, it was a simple $50 gift card when you sign up for our services for PMU microblading. And what we did was whenever we booked someone from that service, we instantly knew that we had to, I hate to say, charge a little more to offset that $50. And some people that, and to be quite honest with you, some people that we really liked, that she really enjoyed working on their brows, that were really nice, because let's face it, there's a lot of people that you may work with that you're just like, I hope they never come back. Oh my God, I hope they never come back. What we did was we made sure we did upsell and we did charge more to take out that $50. But what we found in doing that was it actually anchored a second sale. So I don't quite remember if it was 100%, but I know the majority of people that took part in that sale actually did book another appointment right away, right after their brows were done. They were put instantly back on the schedule for the touch up. So a great way in anchoring your people for a second touch up is, in my opinion, offering some kind of gift card. Now, let's say your touch ups are only 75, so offer 25. You are the business owner and you're in control of what you offer.
So I guess just to clarify this, are you saying like they book the appointment and it includes a
Yep.
touch up? So you're saying $50?
No, it doesn't include touch up.
Okay, so you're saying $50 towards a touch up?
$50 towards any service. So in my wife's salon, she offered regular aesthetics, waxing, things like that. So I think the only service they would have actually gotten for free would have been waxing. And I think a few people did take advantage of that, but that's okay. We still booked a second service.
Yeah.
And that's the real goal, is to book that second service and to increase those sales as much as possible.
Yeah, and I think honestly, like talking about pricing, I think one mistake a lot of people or newbies make is looking at the bottom line too quickly. So like instead of like, okay, Tony, I'm going to make, $50 off you, it should be, hey, if I get you as a repeat customer, I'm going to make some money on each service. But then also, as we develop that relationship, you're going to tell more people about me. You're going to refer your friends. You're going to come back next year for brows again. And so once you start getting in that long-term mindset, the numbers start making a lot more sense. And I know you're more of a numbers guy than me.
Oh, I am absolutely. I'm all about the numbers. And to me, hitting on that point, what I actually saw was, and it was, the biggest struggle in the microblading business I had with my wife, and I love her to death, and I don't know if she's watching or not, so she'll probably kill me after this call, was that she was one of those individuals that, and it's totally okay, but she just wanted to book the service, have the client come in, and leave. Mm-hmm. There was no rapport being built throughout the whole service. I actually sat outside a couple times and just listened to see what kind of conversations she was having before, during, and after the service, to see if she ever even attempted to upsell, ever even attempted to say, hey, who do you know that I know that needs eyebrows?
Yep.
Because believe it or not, the girls that are getting the girls, guys, whoever's getting the service done right now, they're going to go to work and say, look at my brows. Mm-hmm. What's the first question someone's going to ask them? Who did them? Okay. Why not ask your client while they're in front of you, hey, who do you know that I should know? Or do you have anybody looking at at your brows trying to see about them? Maybe they're on the fence or something like that. Those are the conversations really that 99% of people don't have, even in my industry. To your point about sales cycle, in the real estate industry, on average, we see one homeowner knows 6 other people looking to buy or sell within the first year. Within that 1 year after your original sale. So I like to always say, who do you know that I should know?
Yeah, and that's why you should always treat like even someone who doesn't book with you, like getting into sales, like even someone who just says, "Okay, thank you, let me think about it." Be nice to them. Don't just ignore them. Don't just like brush them under the rug. Treat everybody like your best client because they might not book right away, but like maybe they do book. Maybe they change their mind. Maybe they go tell their friends. Like you never know what that one person could be the opportunity you want.
Hmm. Yeah, and actually, what we found is the people that we thought would never come back came back, and they
Yeah.
referred people. So that's a huge aha. But no, going into crafting other offers, I'm really curious. Does anybody have any questions about crafting offers or how to start the conversation of asking who should you know that they know?
Yeah, while we're waiting on a comment for that, I will say that a lot of people, and this goes back to mindset, a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to feel like I'm pressuring them or I don't want to feel salesy.
Yeah, and it's all in the technique. I train salespeople for a living, and one thing I will not do is I will never push someone into something or never, and I will never tell somebody, hey, you should buy it for this reason. Great example is me and you, Jake, buying your properties. Didn't I tell you, like, there was multiple times where I'm like, Jake, don't do it, don't
Yep.
do it,
Yeah.
don't. I you want the person to feel happy and excited to hire you to do their brows because when they leave, they're going to be happy, excited to tell other people. So,
Yes. So
but
fun fact, like, so I worked with him and his wife in 2018, and then fast forward to now, I just bought two houses from him over the past few months.
mhm. Yeah,
So
it's you got some beautiful homes. I'm super excited to see your second home done and seeing how much revenue you accumulate off that. But going back into really the struggles, I think of, you know, closing the sale and crafting sales. One thing I really was very consistent on was making sure I got to every message within 2 to 3 minutes.
yeah.
And then also making sure one little nugget I will leave you with is don't ever lead with price when they ask you how much is your service. Don't ever lead with that. Now that's a nugget I'll leave you with, and I'll leave it to Jake to kind of let you know what the objection would be and what the outcome of that conversation would be at a later date. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Real quick, let's talk about. I'm trying to remember. There was some other stuff I want to cover the holidays. Kind of going back, like PMU has seasons, and I think the beauty industry does too. But obviously, I had a lot of experience in the permanent makeup industry. I think there's seasons. Um, Summer is always kind of a little bit slower. Sorry, a little bit slower due to people want to be in the sun and all that stuff, and they're traveling. I think fall is usually a pretty good time. I think the holiday season is great if you get in. If you get in, you're doing ads and you're really active. I think it's great. If you wait until like Christmas season, or like if you wait till like the week of Christmas, then people are already like their schedules are already filled. They're probably not going to come in and get their brows done right before Christmas dinner, and they're probably also broke because they just spent a bunch of money on Christmas presents. So you really want to get in like between like now November and then mid December is like the sweet spot. Now, not saying you shouldn't advertise 24/7, 365 a year. I'm just kind of giving you the spots where I see it, really vamp up. I mean, did you see that in your business?
No, no, because we were consistent with the marketing.
Yeah.
Um, in my mindset around that. And I do agree there are seasons to every business, but the mindset around that is someone is always looking for their brows to be done. Someone is always looking to buy or sell a home. It's up to you to find that one person. It just may be a little harder.
Yeah.
That's the whole key. Is it's a little harder to find that person in that supposed off season. So for me, I do think I remember us ramping up our marketing budget with you in those, quote unquote off seasons, because I wanted to be sure that we were still consistently booking at that time. So we didn't exactly see that, but in a lot of businesses that I've owned, where I didn't have that mindset, I saw a lot of seasonality. Now, with other PMU artists that I do know and I've talked with, they do see seasonalities. And a lot of people say, well, I don't want to advertise and market myself and run specials in those seasons because of the exact thing. People don't have money, but there are people out there with money.
Yeah.
So that's a really big mindset shift you'd almost have to have is, okay, in a slow season, I actually need to invest more in my business.
Yeah, I agree. And like the clients who have been working with me, consistently for 6+ months or even years, they stay booked up for 3 months at least in advance. And when you get that booked up, like people are going to book with you when they can, or like they're going to get the first available spot, whether it's on Christmas or, whenever. And so that's the advantage of being, consistent and not just trying to like, do it by season or just, oh, I'm slow, let me hire Jake. Like, no, you need to be like running ads all year.
And that's something, I was in full transparency when I was first starting out my businesses and things like that when I was younger. I had that mindset of, oh, I got to cut back because we're not going to have enough sales. No, you need to ramp up because everybody else is cutting back.
Yep.
That's a huge mindset shift. And it's difficult to overcome that because you're looking at your bank account dwindling, but you have to know that you're doing the right thing, at least in my opinion, to continue that consistent marketing.
Yeah, and it's not easy. I mean, mindset's something that and that's why I like to do videos like this. You got to get around the right people. That's why I talk to Tony and I have like other mentors and stuff like that because if you just kind of keep to yourself or just only listen to your family members who don't know anything about business, they're going to be like, oh, you need to save your money, you need to protect everything you have, and you're never going to expand and grow if you get in those mindsets.
Yep. Someone can only get you to where they're at in their life.
Yeah.
So you need to surround yourself with people. If you're a PMU artist just starting out, go reach out to the top PMU artists in your area. Take them to lunch, take them to dinner, learn their story. Mm-hmm. That is the biggest advice I can give somebody is find someone who's the best in your area and learn from them. Someone who's the best is not going to be shy to sit there and say, well, I don't want to give you my tools and I don't want to tell you how I did it. There's plenty of business out there for everyone.
Yep. Awesome.
So,
do you guys have any questions about how to craft an offer or anything for me and Tony? And I'm watching the comments. So post your questions below. If you found this to be helpful so far, let us know. I remember on Facebook, the algorithm was so much better. We'd have like hundreds of viewers and tons of comments. Now it's like, it doesn't notify as many people. But here we go. Thank you, Darcy. She said, that is so tough to do. It's easy to forget that just a handful of clients can make or break you during a slow month.
I agree with that. I agree with that, especially when you're looking at your cost of service. We literally looked at in our salon that our overhead was, $2,000 a month. That was 6 clients. 6 clients literally made or broke us.
Yep.
It was crazy. So, but, first and foremost, mindset going into this, especially going to the holiday season, don't be one of those people that I got to save my money, unless obviously you absolutely have to, I do understand there's situations financially at home, things like that, where you can't spend. For myself, starting my wife's business, I said, listen, I'm doing this and I'm doing this on a $5,000 budget. That's all I was putting into it. And thanks to Jake, I think in the time we owned it, we almost hit, I think it was about $70,000.
Nice.
So, and that was well less than a year.
Yeah.
So
awesome. So if you guys are interested, I just want to throw this in there before, because I know we've been on for about 30 something minutes. If you guys are interested in learning from, like I said, Tony goes all over the country. He trains and sells I've been studying sales and like seeing it, in this industry for a while now. And when I say sales, I'm not talking about discounts. I'm talking about, how to get more bookings, basically, how to convince people to get more or to book with you, how to, I don't know, what's your definition of sales, Tony?
So sales, I don't like I don't like using the term sales. I like using the term relationship building.
Okay.
If you want to learn how to build relationships that are going to be long lasting and build a referral pipeline, that's what you should be thinking about when you're thinking about sales. Sales is not, oh, let me get this next person and get them booked and make my two, three, $400 off of them and never see them again.
Yeah.
That is not sales. If you have to convince somebody, that to me that's not sales. That's kind of, in my opinion, robbery in a sense.
Hmm.
So
Strong words.
it kind of is. I mean, because at the end of the day, I literally, Jake, I fire agents if I hear that they are pushing somebody into a home.
Yeah.
That is the quickest thing. I will let an agent go. Like, I don't care their production. If if I have to convince somebody that I'm the best, I probably shouldn't be working with them because I know so many other people that want to work with me. And it's something, just I know your value. So
I guess for my question is, how do you find the balance between knowing your value, knowing what you offer, but, maybe like I'm a small artist who doesn't have any testimonials yet, who doesn't have a big portfolio. I know my value, but like, how can I, without getting into the sales training, in a summary, how can I, do that without quote robbery?
so I guess I should take back that word, but how do you do that? It's really starting out with learning the client, learning what they want, having an actual conversation with them. So one thing about me that Jake hates is I like phone conversations. Why? Because I can understand Jake's tonality. When he's upset with me because we lose an offer, I can understand that tonality versus, you know, me just shooting a quick text. The whole point of Jake is to get you in front of the client, not to close the deal. Okay. So when you're looking at as a new PMU artist, your whole goal should be to learn what that person's goal is in why they want their brows. The biggest question without, I'll give a little bit if you don't mind, Jake, if you don't mind.
Yeah, they're here
Okay.
watching.
Is my first question is, have you been looking into microblading? That's going to tell you whether or not they know it's expensive. From there, I would ask questions like, what brings you into looking for microblading? How long you've been looking into microblading? Those kinds of questions are going to help me build rapport and find common ground with them. So as a new agent, your number one goal is to build a relationship and find common ground, because once you have that common ground, you start building trust. Then the questions of, well, how long have you been doing it? Things like that don't happen. So you have to really know how to ask the right questions. And in asking the right questions, you actually lead the conversation, not them. And you can't really, it's very difficult to do that through Messenger.
Yeah.
So that's why you get them on the phone.
I mean, and like, just to be clear, like me and you, we did messenger ads for your wife's business.
Yep.
You knew how to get them on the phone and how to convert them. What was your conversion rate? You said like 70%?
A little north of 70%.
Okay. Cool. And that's
it was to the point where my wife literally said to me, please stop. Do not answer. She would text me because we had the messenger on both of our phones. She would text me and say, do not respond to that person. I do not have time. So
yeah, and like, honestly, like she didn't do any videos. She had she started, I mean, she was a new artist, so she didn't have a big portfolio, and he still had north of 70% conversion rate. So here's what I want to do.
She didn't have any portfolio.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was trying to be nice, She had a small portfolio. Anyways, so here's what I want to do. So after we had all this discussion and like I've seen what Tony did for his wife's business, I've seen his sales training. I was like, okay, we need to have some kind of like way because I mean I teach some sales and my perspective on sales and how to respond to leads and things like that with my advertising service. But I want to do like a real deep dive into like just focusing on this for like a month straight. How to sell, how to really find the ideal client and connect with them and do all this stuff that's really going to grow your business. And so what we've decided is beginning of the year 2022, if you want to start the year off right, in a month we're going to be doing a mastermind. This is the first time I've ever done an in-depth mastermind like this. This is more of it's not a course, it's a high level mastermind where it's going to be a small group. It's going to be very interactive. Like we're going to know each and every one of you. We're going to hop on, probably Zoom calls and get very in depth. Make sure that you become a very good salesman. And when I say salesman, I'm not talking about the cheesy kind. We're talking about how to build real relationships that's going to grow a real business and help you to scale. This is honestly probably not for anyone that's not willing to invest in their business. It will be an investment. Also a tax deduction in the year. So if you are someone who you've had some success and you want to take it to the next level and you want to say like, I want to learn how to really, really grow my business, how to really become, and that's the thing, guys, even as you scale, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tony, because, not everybody wants to jump on a phone call, but as you scale and you learn this stuff, you're going to know how to put the right systems in place, how to, teach this stuff to an assistant, like all these things that are going to help you grow a real scalable business that one day maybe you can sell it because, Tony has experience in selling businesses. So what are your thoughts on that, Tony, or what do you want to add?
I want to add that, this training that we're going to be doing, we're going to really get nitty gritty on the science of sales and relationship building, going into starting out with limiting beliefs. I think in order to really have a breakthrough in your business, you have to get over your limiting beliefs, kind of defining your value. I talked a lot about value tonight in us helping you define your value, going through the life cycle of a client and diving deep and having a lot of discussion around, how to get multiple clients out of just one client you have, how to build a referral pipeline and build those raving fans, and obviously doing a lot of script practicing. Now, one thing about me is I do hate scripts. I hate scripts with a passion. This meeting tonight, I actually sat down and I was like, okay, Jake kind of gave me a very rough outline of what he wanted to talk about tonight. And then I looked at it and I was like, I'm not gonna go and do the scripted. This is 100% unscripted, but there are key phrases to utilize in day-to-day operations and sales, and then really how to build and scale your business through time blocking and creating a unstoppable sales follow-up system.
And honestly, the way I think of it, or I guess going back when you said limiting beliefs, we were talking about this on the phone last night. And I said, Tony, I hate fluff. It better not be fluff. And then he explained to me, and we talked about it, and I was like, oh, this makes a lot of sense, and this is actually going to help me a lot. And so, trust me, guys, I don't like fluff, and I don't like bull crap. This is going to be real scientific, like experience-based training.
Yep. So one thing about me is my sales trainings are not typically that long because I get right down to the point. We all have very valuable time, something we'll never get back. And I've taken so many national sales training courses, and 95% of it's fluff.
Yep.
I just want to get you down to the nitty gritty and really show you and explain to you what is going to get you to that next level and help you to find that next level that you're looking for.
Yeah, and when you talk about not using scripts, I kind of think of it because I used to play basketball, so I kind of think of it in those terms where it's like I don't have a script for what I'm going to do. Like I'm not going to like take 2 dribbles to the right and shoot, but I did drills. I practiced those. I knew the fundamentals, and through repetition and fundamentals, that's where I really was able to succeed. And that's the same thing with sales. Like you got to learn the fundamentals. You got to have some repetitions, which we will do during our mastermind. We're going to be doing some like one-on-one trainings. We're going to be doing some what am I looking? What is the word I'm looking for? Role playing. Yeah.
Role
Um,
playing, yep.
so we
Yep.
are going to be going
Objection
through the
handling.
drills. Yep. It's not going to be. It's not just going to be like PowerPoints or I'm like Tony. I've taken probably 100 marketing courses, and 95% of them I I, I watched
Yeah.
them at 2x
But
speed, and I was like, this is fluff.
yeah, and at the end of the day, what I really want everybody to take away from it is their base layer of what they need to add in their business on a day to day to scale. Whether you're looking for getting out of that solo salon or that Phoenix salon and getting your own salon, or you're starting out. I don't want to discourage anybody starting out to not join this course, but I do want to say that it is an investment, and you will, if you do what we kind of instruct you to do, you should see an ROI. I've worked with in my company, every agent that I've worked with, and they've listened to me and done my tools and resources and utilized my knowledge, has seen a huge ROI. Again, to your point, we started out with nothing, and we grew and scaled very quickly. It's unfortunate that we had some family issues, but we're overcoming that. And I look forward to assisting other PMU artists in the industry, along with Jake. And, Jake, I just want to thank you for that opportunity.
Yeah, and this is honestly the first time I've done something like this because, like, I could host a mastermind myself and I could, do everything myself, but I see such value in what Tony's not only taught me, but what he's done that I'm like, hey, dude, come in here and we'll get this thing done together. So I'm definitely excited about that. As it says, I disagree. I find scripts are helpful. So we're not saying like she's saying that they're helpful as a starting point, then tweak it to your own personality.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah,
exactly what we're saying.
and we
That's
even like
exactly.
yeah, we even started writing a script yesterday. Like he wrote out, um, and so I know that sounds contradictory that we don't like scripts, but we write a script. So we understand that people need a starting point and a framework, but our goal is to get you down with the fundamentals, learn all the stuff, and that way you don't have to reference the script. It's going to come naturally from the heart, and it's going to be much more uh, persuasive, I guess is a good word. Plus, it's just going to feel better when it's coming from your heart instead of just trying to follow a script.
Yeah, and to that point, scripts do work for people. I actually have a very close friend in the industry that all he does is he sounds very robotic and scripted. And for me, I utilize maybe 10% of his script whenever I'm talking to sales associates and things like that. But I have my own, and I make it my own. Um, I strongly believe that, to that individual's point, that you just got to make it your own, but you need that baseline.
Yeah,
So.
and I've gone through Grant Cardone's training. I've gone through Wolf of Wall Street's training. I've done them all, and so I've kind of taken a little bit of nugget from here and there and kind of made it into my own. And based on my experience in this industry, I'm like, okay, this is how you convert and really grow a business in the permanent makeup industry, or in the like. This is honestly for all beauty industry professionals. Like it's not just permanent makeup. This can be used for lash extensions, pro cell, all that stuff.
Yep, yep. But the key to it is starting out with a great framework, and getting those limiting beliefs, I think, is the number one priority when starting your business. You're going to doubt yourself here and there, but knowing how to overcome that is huge, and knowing the right techniques to talk to people and develop those relationships to create more and more sales. So, what I could say is don't sell, build the relationship.
Yeah, Janet says if you write down your thoughts, your delivery is much better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think sitting down and like that's one of the exercises I teach my clients is sit down and write down all the things all the benefits of your service, all the all the bonuses, everything that comes with your service. Write it down and have it on paper. And then going back to like learning the fundamentals, just like my basketball analogy, once you write things down, you learn it, you have repetition, you have experience, you're not going to have to read that stuff every time. You're not going to have to read a script. You're not going to have to look at your notes. It's going to be in your brain. It's going to be in your heart. You know what you offer. You know your value. And so, yes, we love writing things down. We love scripts to begin with, but we want to get you from basic script reader to advanced, you know, CEO, growing your business, crushing it, without having to think twice.
Yeah, this training is definitely a training that, if you want to get to six figures, and again, this is no financial guarantee, so kind of a disclaimer there, there's no financial guarantee, but it is one of those trainings that if you want to, get to the next level, whatever that's defined by you, this is one you won't want to miss.
Yeah, Shannon says, is your program beneficial for experienced and established artists to build bigger businesses? Honestly, yeah,
yes.
that is who we're going for. Honestly, like, yes,
Yes.
like anyone's going to benefit from this a lot, but like we want the people who are already having success, and we want to be able to take them to the next level. This is an
Yep.
advanced training.
And to my, my sales training background, I actually train brokerages, in big teams. So my specialty is building big business. I can help and train, so that's why I don't discourage people who are just starting out not to do it. But that's really the specialty for myself, is building big businesses, building businesses that are generational. So please, definitely, I'd love to have you.
Yeah, and that's why I'm bringing Tony in, because he has a lot more experience with bigger businesses than I do. I work with tons of small business owners, and like, usually sub 600 or sub six figures to right at six figures mark. And so Tony's going to bring in that, experience. This is how you scale a business. This is how you really, grow a business to bigger than that.
Yep. Yep. So.
Awesome. And, I always say practice what you preach. I actually went through a mastermind. It cost me $8,000 a few months ago, but it was a 1 month mastermind, and ours is not going to be $8,000. It's going to be less than that. Um, but I mean, honestly, I don't regret paying $8,000. I think it was a great investment, and the reason I did it is not even because I wanted to learn the information that much. I know that sounds weird. I did learn a good amount of information for it, but I wanted the connections. I wanted to get on there and meet like-minded people, and dive inside the mind of the guy that was teaching it, because obviously I saw he was doing big things, and it was a great experience. And so I'm all about investing in yourself. I do it for myself. So Shannon says, where do we find out more about your program? So I'm actually this is such a new thing. Like I said, we haven't done this before, and so I'm still working on the information packet for it. But I'll have that done within the next day or two. So if you are interested in that, just send me a message, and that way I can get you the information first. Because like I said, I want this to be small groups. So honestly, we're taking less than probably 20 people as our cap. I don't want it to be any more than that for this class.
Yep. And again, if you're that new microblader just getting into the industry, this is still something for you. You can scale massively in your first year if you have the right techniques and you have the right business plan. So don't think that, oh, I'm just starting out. I maybe in 2 years. No, I can tell you right now that, the businesses that I owned, my landscaping company I owned, I sold that to a mega corporation after a year and a half that actually sought after me for that. In our real estate industry, or in my real estate career right now, our broker owner, he gave me a challenge to build 2 offices in 1 year. So it can definitely happen, and I did that, but it can definitely happen, and that was really our goal for the PMU. And honestly, right now we're in the process of trying to sell my wife's business so she can get back into the PMU industry, because that is her passion. So, and that's what I do plan on doing for helping her, is scaling that business. Eventually, we're not in a rush, but at the end of the day, would love to help each and every one of you. Feel free to reach out to Jake for more information on the sales training. And Jake, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's been great. So we've got a comment here. As it says, I can't thank you both enough. I've learned a lot more things than I thought would be in this video. It was very eye-opening, so that's great to hear. And guys, this is just scratch the surface. This is a broad overview of that. We didn't even.
And I promise the training will be scripted.
Oh yeah.
Well, not scripted, but we will have a very nice outline.
I had one note. Competitive, because I wanted to remember about the competitive pricing. That's the only note I had. This was unscripted. Just wait till January when we have, actually full on classes and go in depth and stuff. It's going to be insane.
Yep. And I challenge each and every one of you, new and old to scale in 2022. And don't be afraid if you need, you know, any assistance when it comes to, are you afraid of should I hire Jake? Should I, you know, have questions about my experience in starting the new business? Feel free to reach out. I can limiting help you because I don't want to give away a lot of what's going to be going on in sales training.
Yeah. So, and guys, this is, well, yeah, I can't, I mean, it's going to be awesome. I don't really have to say anything else.
I don't want to I don't
Yeah.
want to give away. We're not going to give away the
Like,
house because
my mind's like spinning because already got a bunch of new ideas for it. But yeah, this first class this first mastermind I'm gonna do, it's probably gonna be better priced just so we can build up the testimonials and build up the, I guess the clout or whatever you want to call it. And then from we will have other classes probably throughout the year, but they're going to be way more expensive. This first one is, if you definitely want a good deal, this first one's the one to get in.
Yep, for sure.
Awesome. Well, we're at that hour mark, so thank you guys for watching or listening. If you're watching the replay, comment #replay. If you're at the live, thank you so much. I know an hour is a lot of time to be taken up in this busy world, but I hope we gave you guys some value. I hope we gave you guys some help, and I hope you learned something. And hopefully some of you will join the sales training because I think it's going to be awesome. But anyways, thanks again, Tony, not for having me, but for joining me.
No, thank you. Look forward to seeing you hopefully in the new year. Yeah, thank you all for listening. And it was a pleasure.
All right, guys, have a great night and a happy Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you before Thursday. All right, bye.
All right.